welcome to Desktop Gaming. In today's video I'll be breaking down the abilities, the gear and the Paragon tree for the monk in PvP. As a staple class in the Diablo franchise, the monk is still alive and kicking in Diablo Immortal. Now, without further ado, let's kick things off with the basic attacks and Fists of Thunder. Well, there isn't much to say about this basic attack. It's a 3-stage basic attack chain in which the second stage deals, due to being a multi-attack, the most damage. The downside of the second stage is that while you are channeling the attack, you are unable to move and is therefore susceptible to CCs and other interrupts. The first and third stage, however, lets you teleport to your target. But keep in mind that the teleport can only occur every 3 seconds in PvP. Now here we have the first ability in Exploding Palm. Reaching Rebuke and Exploding Palm go hand to hand. With the Essence, this ability changes its functionality and becomes a movement skill. With it, you can just jump in and out of fights, especially because you have 2 charges by default. The other upside from the skill is the slight knockback, which it causes after landing. It's nothing special, but interrupts any channeling skills like the Wizard's Beam or the Whirlwind from the Barb. The damage is not noteworthy though, except if you are using the head legendary Numb Realization, in which case you get another burst option. The second ability is 7-Sided Strike, or as I call it, Black Friday Sale. Now, for this ability here we have 2 major essences we can use for PvP. Both of them have their up and down side. First off, we have Spirit Reach. There's not a lot to say about it. You use the ability and anyone who stands inside that circle will receive damage for the duration of 4 seconds. While this ability is being used, you can still do other stuff like maybe damage, dance, or whatever you like. My personal favorite is though Dragon's Indignation. The upside to Spirit Reach is that the enemy will receive the damage faster and get a dot which will deal damage over 3 seconds. But the most important upside I see with the skill is the 0.5 seconds immunity you get after using it. If you time it right, you could evade big cooldowns from your opponent. Now let's talk about the third ability, Shield of Zen, and why I think it's one of the best defensive and offensive skills inside this game. First off, you receive a health shield. It's not that high and can break after 2 or 3 hits. The best part about it though is that it has a CC immunity while the shield is active. And to top it all off, you can target one teammate from you and give him the shield too. So let's say you're fighting inside the Rite of Exile or something like that. You can not only save your teammate from CCs, no, but you could also turn the fight around. The Essence, Enlightenment's Blessing, is pretty good. As long as you have your Shield of Zen up, you receive 25% movement speed and you can pass unhindered through enemies. That's something I would like to have during rush hours in the city. The last and the best ability in my opinion is Imprisoned Fist. Oh yeah, this ability does it all. It deals damage, it has a knock up and a whopping 2-second stun. And it's of course an AoE. Of course it is. Through the 2 essences, Isolation's Path and Freedom's Gale for shoulders and pants, this ability becomes one of the most infuriating and strongest abilities in my opinion, as it can stun a target for around 5 seconds because it has 2 charges. Don't forget that. Here we have some honorable mentions. I think those essences are worth in some situations. Crippling Insight, for example, is really good if you're a new monk player and want to learn how to evade attacks more efficiently, or you struggle with engaging and disengaging. Purity's Thought is meh and all, but having a random dispel every 12 seconds isn't something so useful in PvP. Maybe in PvE at some point, but not for now, at least for me. Pensive Crown, on the other hand, is a cool essence, but with low outcome. The main duration of Shield of Zen is 5 seconds, so increasing it to 6.5 seconds isn't worth, in my opinion, as the shield will most likely be gone by the 3rd or 4th second if you jump into the fight. The only upside to that is the 25% movement speed, so if you're chasing someone, maybe then, but to be honest, it's a niche essence and I wouldn't recommend using it for now. Now we made it to the point where I'm talking about the set pieces I'm using for PvP. First off, we have the Feasting Baron's pack and the Untouchable Mountain Bike, or mountain bike as we like to call it in my clan. Well, Feasting Baron's pack is pretty much self-explanatory, as it increases every duration of your ability that causes loss of control, like the stuns through Imprisoned Fist, by 30%. It's a huge deal if you ask me though. And now the Untouchable Mountain Bank has the upside of, if you're using the 4-piece set, which I'm using, you receive a 33% health shield every time you take damage within 9 seconds. Of course, it says you have a 20% chance to proc it, but to be honest, with always when I jumped inside, when I received a dot or whatever, I got the shield. So you get almost 100% uptime from the shield if you manage to survive, of course. But 33% of your health is pretty insane. Now that we reached the final point in my list, the Paragon tree, I will show you directly via my character where I put my points to maximize the outcome. Now, the most important skill tree in PvP is the Gladiator skill tree. As you can see, I've put already 63 points aside of it, and I will show you why. Now, the most important talent inside the Gladiator tree is the Cheat Death talent. To get that, you'll need 38 points spent inside this tree. What does Cheat Death do? Well, if you receive fatal damage, you get stunned for 3 seconds in place, you're immune to damage and whatsoever, and after the 3 seconds delay, you will receive 60% of your health back. This talent has a cooldown for 2 minutes. But that's more than enough for the monk, because if you get caught with a monk, you're pretty much dead if the opponent uses a CC chain on you. With that, you have one more extra life to get away or turn back the fight or whatever. All the other talents and points are actually beneficial to you. Uncontrollable, for example, lets you remove 1 CC on you every 30 seconds. But keep in mind that any kind of CC will proc uncontrollable. Like, for example, the multi-shot from the Demon Hunter with the Essence where it uses Frost. This will proc uncontrollable. The other one, right here, Quick-Witted, of course, I mean, it's nice to have a reduced duration of CC by 10%, but it's not mandatory, but you need this talent to get actually to Cheat Death, so we have to skill it. Damage, of course, is self-explanatory. You need damage to deal damage, so the more you have, the better, and life, of course, increases the survivability. The other one you should be looking for is armor penetration, because the more armor penetration you have, the more critical damage you'll do. And the more critical damage you'll do, the easier it will get to beat the enemy player. Now that we reached the end of my video, I want to thank all of you for watching it. Please consider to leave a like. If you want to see some live PvP action, please comment down below and I will make it happen. Thank you very much and have an awesome day.